mobile network operators have warned that Eskom's continued load shedding means broadband subscribers and smartphone users may experience downtime. Now, proactive measures will be in place and may indeed be in place, but just how much will networks be impacted by the continued load shedding? Will you be able to make that call before the lights go out? Jackie O'Sullivan is Executive for Corporate Affairs at MTN South Africa, and she joins us in studio. Jackie, thank you so much for the time. How bad is the scenario and the situation?
So fortunately for MTN, we've invested quite heavily in batteries. Our objective is to try and keep our customers connected as much as possible. So we spent about 300 million rand last year investing in batteries to provide the backup systems. The problem that we face is once we move past Schedule 3, we start moving into the areas where it's just not giving us enough time to reload our batteries. So we've got batteries that have a capacity for 6 to 12 hours, but we do need 12 to 18 hours to reload those batteries. So that's where the complexity starts to get into it. So we've got batteries, we have generators on a sort of, at the moment, we are fortunate that we don't have that many sites down, but we are still spending about R1 million every 3 days on fuel for the generators that we've brought in. So the costs are high, but obviously our real concern is keeping people connected, because this is about safety and security as much as it's about be able to get in touch with friends and family.
This story is kind of, sits kind of close to me, because I had, I wouldn't call it downtime, but, connectivity issues yesterday as well when we hit stage 6 load shedding. How much of that then do you have to financially prepare for, and how much can you prepare for in a time like this? Are you constantly in communication perhaps with Eskom? Are you finding new ways to try and innovate your technology and get around it?
Absolutely. So we've actually we've reactivated our war rooms that we have in all the regions that we have around the country, because obviously MTN's got a massive footprint. We cover the whole country with 2G. We've got 3G at least. We have 95% coverage in the country of 4G. So there's a lot of people relying on good connectivity. So our war rooms are keeping a constant contact with Eskom, and then we're actually being able to see how we can mitigate, where we can spread the traffic, where we can move traffic so that we take it to where there currently is capacity. The added financial burden that all the networks have been seeing is that the batteries that are used have become a massive source of income for various syndicates. So on top of the purchasing of the batteries, we've had to now invest in security, and really quite detailed types of security, tracking devices that can't be found, tracking devices that are only activated later down the line to try and avoid them being detected. So it's a complicated process that has been
Does this all happen despite load shedding, or is it only when load shedding comes into effect?
So it happens all the time. So we're constantly fighting the scourge of, we realize it's not random acts, it is syndicates that are operating. However, we do find it's actually worsened during load shedding, because obviously their neighborhoods are in the dark. So we are really trying very hard to work with police and to work with local community organizations to try and keep the awareness out there that we need to kind of keep an eye on these base stations, because they're keeping communities connected, and in many instances they're connecting communities to their safety, alarm systems, schools, that sort of thing. So it really is a priority.
Any sort of help, advice, thoughts, something that could help consumers in a time like this when it comes to connectivity? Are there any sort of quick fixes for them in a time where perhaps electricity is gone for around 4.5 hours?
So I think the key thing that we always advise people is, quite often people don't understand what's happening on their devices. So particularly when people have smartphones, they often don't realize what's running in the background, and that causes their phones to run down. So we really encourage people, even if it means popping by your provider's store and just saying, what exactly is going on here? How can I check? Because even if I've closed all my apps, maybe there's something else still happening in the background. And I think that's a critical thing. People need to understand where their data is being used, not only to conserve battery power, but they shouldn't be using data if they're not actively using it. There shouldn't be things happening in the background, because that is costing those customers money. So really understanding your device, and then making sure that you really understand what your own schedules are going to look like so that you can have those backup facilities in place. We've also seen great success with the use of solar power technologies. So we've been really encouraging the schools that we invest in through the foundation, the MTN Foundation, to put in those backup facilities, so at least in the case of severe load shedding, that their safety and security is maintained.
Yeah, some certainly have unlimited power supplies as well, UPS systems for whether they're Wi-Fi connectivity or whatever the case is as well, to be able to use those. Jackie, thank you so much. Just to confirm that, that's 1 million rand every 3 days that you're spending on your system effectively.
And that's at the moment, that's pretty good, because we're only on, you know, as you said, we've got to the point where it's only on stage 4, and we're using that language.
Isn't that the sad part, right?
So it could get worse, but it's an expensive operation, it really is.
Fantastic. Jackie, thank you so much for the time. I really hope our president heeds the call and returns from Egypt with a more palpable plan of action. Thank you so much for the time. That's Jackie O'Sullivan, of course, the Executive for Corporate Affairs at MTN South Africa. South Africa, hopefully we can get that load shedding scenario sort of fixed and curbed.